Hey, what's up? It's Dee Dee, and you're watching Dare to Worship TV. I can remember a time when I had no other choice but to worship God, but worshiping Him in the way that I knew Him and not the way anybody had told me. When I was 13 years old, I was molested by a close family member, and I can remember feeling like, was it something that I said? Because I've always been a singer. I've been singing since I was 3 years old. So was I getting too much attention from singing? Is that the reason why he thought that my 13-year-old body could have easily, you know what I'm saying, been mistaken for an adult woman? And so after dealing with that experience for about 3 months, I remember feeling like, do most girls go through this? Like, is this something that my friends are dealing with and no one has said anything? I was very ashamed. I withdrew quite a bit. I started reading, threw myself into books. I became an avid reader. You know, I was reading 8 and 9 books a week to kind of drown myself out from the feelings of, am I gonna grow up and be promiscuous? Am I gonna have a lot of boyfriends? All of that stuff. And I've always been a church girl. I've always, you know, I was raised in church, but I didn't know God for myself at all. I knew what my mom presented to me. I knew what my foundation presented to me. And at this particular moment in time for me, that age of, you know, 8th grade going into 9th grade was when I actually learned what worship was. I already knew that I had to have a relationship with God in order to be able to worship Him, you know, in spirit and in truth. I was aware of all of that. I knew all of the nuances of, you know, being a Christian. That situation actually made me put that word to work. And so I didn't really know what to say to God to worship Him. I knew that music could help me. And so at the time, my favorite artist at the time was Fred Hammond and RFC, and they had a record out called The Inner Court. And there was a song on there that talked about yielding to God. And I went and researched what yielding meant. And when I got the definition of what that word was, I said, I can't fight this by myself, because I read so much that I knew that girls would go through molestation and they would want to kill themselves. They wanted to perform in ways for men that wasn't suitable for a 13-year-old to do. So I knew I couldn't go that far on the spectrum, but what I could do was I could protect myself by withdrawing, but in the withdrawal, I could yield myself to God and just kind of make myself be that girl. And so that's what I did. So I would put on that record every single day, all day. I knew every song, every note, whatever, but I sang that to myself completely for 6 months after all of this happened, just to kind of get my mind back to where I felt like in control of my life. And you know, you think about it, and at 13 years old, why in the world would you need to be in control of your life? But that experience opened up a world of spirits to me that I wasn't ready to deal with. So I started looking at men in a way that I shouldn't have been looking at them, because that's what I was exposed to. Those songs kept me in line with, you know, what my mom had taught me, that girls are supposed to be girls, and, you know, you're not supposed to do this and do that. And so that was when I learned how to worship. I didn't understand what I was doing, but looking back on it, 34, you know, I'm 34 now and I have teenage girls myself. I understand exactly the moves that God was making in me to get me to where I am today. So whenever I get into a place where I feel like I'm losing control, I know exactly where to go in order to regain some sanity. And I go back, I find myself singing that song a lot, you know, in the last few years, because, you know, life has taken some twists and some turns, but I'm never somebody without hope. When everybody else is stressing out about the different things in life, my hope is built on nothing less. Like, I don't have anything else to trust. You know, I understand that men can disappoint you, women can let you down, family could leave, friends could say, you know, I don't know why she's going through what she's going through, but the one thing that I know God to be is a promise keeper. And I was told at an early age that he would never leave me nor forsake me, and I take that to heart. So whenever I get to a place where I feel like I don't know where I'm going, I start singing that song. It's gonna forever be the song that keeps me in line and puts me back in the place where I'm supposed to be. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. If I don't know anything else to do, I know how to worship. Hey, it's Dee Dee. Thank you so much for watching Dare to Worship TV, and we dare you to worship.